is 2 o'clock p.m. and I'm calling this meeting of the Parks, Recreation and Open Space Committee to order. We do have a quorum. We have committee members Julie Amade, Jim Beringer, and Shannon Sutherland present. Jeff Wilson and his wife are off on a grand adventure, with their motor homes. And we knew they wouldn't be here, that Jeff wouldn't be here. Yeah, we have under advisement that Steve will arrive shortly, and I'm quite confident that will happen. And I used to be announcing who's in the audience, but I guess everybody can see at this point, so we're good. Let's see. What else do we have to get started? Chair report. Apologies, there's a lot of info to share in chair report. I'll be as prompt as I can. Afternoon, Steve.
Thank you.
All right, great. So at the December 12th board meeting, the board amended the board bylaws and the standing committee bylaws. The substantive changes, the board member who serves as chairman on the standing committees that's made for this committee will be non-voting and will not count towards a quorum. That is a difference. It used to be that I would vote in a tie, so that's changed. Right. The chairperson's duties will be to preside over meetings, provide guidance, be a liaison to the board and committee, and appoint needed ad hoc committees. That's not very different, but what's removed is voting in the case of a tie. Ad hoc committees will consist of two, and only two committee members. Because now, what 5 committee members, before with the chair, there were 6 on the committee, and so 3 was not a majority of the legislative body. Now 3 would be a majority, and therefore a quorum. So ad hoc committees can only have 2 members. And the chairperson is, it's actually stated in there, is not to attend ad hoc committee member meetings. Obviously, because then you'd have a quorum, or you could have a quorum. Consequently, I'm no longer a member of the community park plan ad hoc committee. And it's been really a pleasure working with Jeff and Shannon on this committee. And I've got no doubt they will forge ahead with their leadership on that. Also, in the updated bylaws, this is really not much of a change, but it's in the bylaws that committee members will attend the ethics training every 2 years. That's online, relatively simple. Yes. So that's the news there. At the meeting Thursday, the board will discuss and consider the agreement for consulting services with Spawn Ranch for the design for the Cambria skate park. I'm sure Julie will share more on that. Just wanted to state that's on the agenda Thursday, and obviously of great interest to this committee. So, yay. Good area. Let's see. Okay, that is yeah. Oh yes, no. Also, just other improvements by Public Works that are somewhat related to our scope. Because we haven't met since July. July 15th, I reported the tree, the one by the green space. There on the corner of Center Street and Hesperian Lane was blocking the pathway, and they got it trimmed. So yay. So now people don't have to walk in the street. Also that week I reported, we've been having muddy parking lot at Fiscalini Ranch at the South Bluff Trail entrance for all year, and they came and graded that a few weeks later. So, we think what, like one thing at a time, what we want to request next from Public Works, because it seems that our requests, some of them are getting done. Agenda review, no changes on my part. Any needs to change or add to the agenda? Forging ahead, ad hoc committee reports. We already have, we already have the, committee part plan on the agenda. Are there any other ad hoc committee reports to share?
No, but we do have the signage, and I'm gonna make a recommendation that we disband that and maybe revamp it and approach it later after we've worked on phase 3 a little bit more.
Okay.
Because it seems like we're putting the cart before the horse.
All right, so disband that at this time and then
Resurrect in
yeah,
like
reframe.
6 months.
Yeah, reframe when we get to that point.
Yeah.
With the park plan. Okay. Committee member communications that are not on the agenda. All right. Then we are running along well. The reports from affiliated community groups in terms of county parks and rec. I did get a response from Pandora Nash Carner. She won't be attending. She said she is walking the Camino de Santiago. She's in northern Spain now this week, so good for her. So Beautify Cambria, Claudia is not in the audience, right? So the Schwartzes are, so I think I had to click the allow to talk button for Gillespie and Laura Schwartz.
You're correct. Okay, Michael. Forest Committee. Okay, we're just continuing to work on the weed guidebook. It's quite a process. We're gathering more pictures. And at some point after Kitty gives her report, I probably would like to talk on that as an individual. Thank you.
Sure, yeah, comment, because there's so much, interface. Okay, so the Cambria Dog Park, Shelley, what do you have for us?
Shelley, Cambria Dog Park. We haven't had much meetings because everything's kind of running by itself until after the bathroom's installed. So I guess the main focus is membership and manners with dogs and humans is kind of our focus this month.
Okay. Anything else?
Can I ask a question?
Oh, of course.
No.
Are there any plans to like maybe do any training events at the dog park?
We do have some training events. One is a guy who handles like rescue dogs, and he's been available for 6 months or so now. And I've gone to a couple of his classes, and we usually post him at the dog park in the bulletin board or on next door.
Ancient companions, yeah.
Yeah.
Ancestral companions, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm. Anything else for Shelley? Okay, so Corinne is here. Hey, not on the computer, right?
I know, in person.
Yeah.
So Green Space, we're busy doing a collaborative bio blitz tomorrow with a bunch of high school kids for FFRP and Green Space. We're gonna start at Creekside Reserve and do the area in the meadow, and we'll go down to the creek and then go over to the Bluff Trail. So I'm super excited about that. And actually Shelley Jose has approached me to do the dog trainer to do a clinic at the Creekside Reserve. So Green Space is gonna sponsor that. It's a nice area, maybe away from the dog park. Maybe some people will do that. We're continuing our efforts at the Creekside Reserve to finish that renovation. We're waiting for permitting in the riparian area. So Fish and Wildlife should be out to look at that. We're gonna pull invasives, and we have a project with the Upper Salinas Los Cobbles RCD, and they're supplying some native plants for us. So we're excited about that. Work continues in Strawberry Canyon. And yeah, we're forging ahead. I think that's all my news. Our speaker series is continuing. 2 more speakers, one in October, one in November, an author, naturalist, and then the field biologist from the Condor Project up at Ventana, and that'll be really cool. So if you check our social media, and the chamber is gonna put that out for us too. The first one in October is at St. Paul's, and then the second one is at the Unitarian Universalist Church, and those will be 2 both great presentations. And then, yeah, that's what's going on right now.
Awesome. Questions for Corinne? And let me check, General Manager McElhaney, you're on the line. Can I just ask, have the comments so far been sufficiently audible?
They have.
Great, okay. Slightly new arrangement, but yeah, nice new tables that Ms. Dodson has organized for the committees. I don't see Keith Seidel on the panelists, so
He has work crews out today.
Right.
I spoke to him this morning, so.
they're just
Work
back.
crews are back, and so they're finishing up the area up above Camp Ocean Pines, so he was really excited about that, and so they should be there for those this week, I believe.
Fantastic. Lamping Cliffs, Suzanne Fiedler let me know that, you know, she would not be attending. She and her husband are gearing up for a big European trip, but I did meet with Suzanne and friends in early August at Lamping Cliffs. She's met with the supervising district ranger, who is Alaska Gaylord. Suzanne is awaiting the green light. Our current plans are to initiate the first in a series of ice plant pulling sessions the week of October 21. So that's exciting to see. That's coming. And their flight has them returning Monday, October 14th. So I'm hoping that the jet lag will be sufficiently mitigated to attend our meeting on October 15th.
Mike is live, right?
And I think that is it for affiliated community groups. Public comment for items not on the agenda. So what public comment do we have? It's the things not on the agenda. That's, I thought everyone has a space to chime in, so, okay. So moving on to the reports. And only distinguishing, right, the reports from the affiliated community groups earlier, you know, this is, you know, reports and project updates in this section, obviously, facilities and resources manager, FFRP, skate park, community park, the restroom update. These are all things entirely within the boundaries of the pros. So, David, you're up.
Well, we ended up losing another employee, so we're back down to 1 and myself. So, well, we're still doing everything that we can. So we ended up moving about 20 cubic yards of sand from the Lamping Cliff parking lot. That's one of the ongoing things of dealing with the community and also with the county, because due to the fact we, I guess, bring in sand and drop it off in the parking lot. So it took over about 4 stalls. So they've been on me quite a bit to get that out of there. So we ended up doing that this morning. Oscar and I with the 2 tractors and the dump trailer. We got that cleaned out. Just as for everything else, I mean, we're slowly getting into different areas. Yeah, we're our backs against the wall right now until we get somebody else back in here. We are prepping for the winter. We are moving some things around. looking at different trails, different things of that nature, washouts, such as over by, the Fern Trail at the very top up there at Camp. We went and looked at that this afternoon, right before I came over here. No, we've been doing what we can. Yeah,
Boy, yeah, well, yeah, and thanks for getting, moving the sand. It's been a long time since the winter flood season, and so the sand's been sitting there a long time.
we're going to be getting another load coming in here pretty soon in the same spot, so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, that's the county's deal on that side, cause ours is the dog park and the fire department, so when they dump it down there, that's why I'm kind of washing my hands with it.
Yeah, I know,
So you had to clean up the sand that we didn't dump there?
Well, I guess it was requested by the CCSD in the past couple of
Gotcha,
years.
okay.
Just so people can fill sandbags,
Yeah, on that side of town.
which people are gonna need again here pretty soon.
Correct, cause I know usually the two normal spots where after talking to everybody is the dog park and the fire department. I don't know where Lampkin Cliffs came in, that parking lot right there. I don't know how long it's been going there, but somebody had said, well, since we're the ones requesting the sand, we're responsible for removing it. But the county is one who drops off free sand. Yeah, I've been dealing with that for 2 months, so I said, you know what, I put it on the list and we got it knocked out today, so, for the week.
I do want to commend you and your tiny team at how much you guys have, A, gotten this whole thing organized, and B, gotten so much done, even with such a reduced crew. It's really impressive.
Yeah, like the skate park, that was something else. I know we were anticipating getting those trees trimmed. And they're on the north end. I went ahead and contracted with an individual there that turned around and took care of that in one day.
And it looks great.
That's the one thing that we started noticing there was some encampments going on back there. So that's why everything's lifted up 6 feet, so that way people can park and draw more attention to it. So.
That area just north of the skate park was so much cleaner.
Yeah, it's the one, yeah, it does. As soon as you clear everything up, that makes a big difference over
yeah, fantastic. And you mentioned the upcoming trail erosion control projects. And the FFRP volunteers will be switching soon from weeding to trails. So, be assertive in that interface with
Brian.
with Brian and me, let us know what's important.
there. Okay.
Which leads right to Kitty. Right, FFRP.
Well, I can hold up my trails for a minute. We're forging ahead with the first trailhead sign, which has been, we've updated the map to mark the ADA accessible route because now there's a loop. And so people can actually see it and travel it on the West Ranch. The boardwalk is now on the map, so we're getting no brochures to go with that and this new trailhead sign. And the brochures and the trailhead sign are more consistent with each other, which I think will help with first-time visitors, and that's who the sign before. Although disturbingly, a lot of people have been calling me lately saying, I'm on trail 13, and I'm like, oh. So I have to refer to the signs now. But if anyone has space for assembly of these signs, they're too big for, they've been in Walt Andrus's garage and there's no space to assemble them. And the first one we'll probably be able to pull off, but after that, when we have 10 to do at once, it'll be a lot cheaper for us to do a bunch of them. And we don't have anywhere indoors to do that, and it'd probably be in the winter. So looking for unused garage or storage space for a temporary project. We are going to have a Thanksgiving tree planting the Saturday after Thanksgiving, weather permitting. We have trees coming from Santa Barbara Botanic Garden. I also have trees that we bought last year from Green Space that are ready to go out now. They look good, actually. They look really good. It's 100, we'll have less than 200 trees, but we'll have some trees and some understory plants. We're also working with the Resource Conservation District, who are going to have Santa Barbara Botanic Garden grow 500 plants for us for fall planting next year. So it will be quite some time, but the plants that we have on the ranch, well, more plants that we have on the ranch. Dozen walks are ongoing. But of course, it's all about the boardwalk, that's all I can. Like, it's all boardwalk all the time. I can't tell you how happy I am that we are able to do this and make the ranch accessible for everyone. In a safe way. Too bad Suzanne's not here because she's one of the people who got injured on this path before the boardwalk. So also really heartened by how enthusiastic the community is for this project. That you may be aware the community is not universally enthusiastic for almost anything. There are a couple people who think we should never, ever do anything on the ranch. And I understand that, but most people are excited to have this more accessible. Also, the kind of the immense generosity of some bequests that we got have paid for this project because the ranch means so much to people. It's just very nice. They keep telling me the last of the footings are gonna go in the end of the week. It's always the end of the week. And it's been 3 or 4 weeks now. I don't think the last footings are quite in yet, but the decking's going on. We're also going to add 80 feet of handrail at the top because there's a bit of a drop off. Also to discourage people from continuing to use the old path, which we're going to restore with native grasses there. Provided people don't walk on it. We're planning a dedication for the last Saturday in October, and I'd like to say it's October 26th, but I might be wrong. The last Saturday in October, and that'll be a public event. So we're giving them a little month, 5 weeks to finish it. And if they're not done, then we'll just dedicate what's there. The rocks are there at the top and the bottom. And it seems to be going along smoothly to me. The animals have already moved in underneath the boardwalk. So the other day I was there and there was a little scat on the boardwalk. It's like somebody's claimed it. It's already part of the ranch now. Yeah, it was adorable.
Awesome,
So that's what I have to report.
awesome. One question, the RCD, understory, planting. Are FFRP volunteers are you gonna flag where you want what, or are you gonna leave that to them?
Oh, we'll tell them where to plant. But that's next fall.
Yeah, okay,
So it's,
a year out.
it's not anything I'm thinking about now.
Got it.
We'll tell them where to plant because I don't know their crews, and I also think that our volunteers are gonna wanna plant, because planting is the funnest thing we do.
Okay.
So they're actually gonna bring food and drink and stuff for a public event when we do the planting.
We have a question from the Schwartzes.
Yes, this is Laura Swartz. Yeah, I just want to congratulate on the boardwalk. That's wonderful. And then also getting that grant, which I wanted to talk a little bit about from the RCD. Okay, again, I think that's wonderful that you're going to be doing understory. Obviously, I've been advocating that for at least 10 years. The question I have is on the access that they have. It seems like the first year is with the grant and they're planning the understory. So that takes care of the first year. The next 9 years of access, is that just open access for anything the RCD wants to do, or is it going to be continuing with the restoration? Because RCD also works with people that take out understory. And so I was just wondering what kind of access limitations or not they're going to have, and if you're going to continue to restore. Thank you.
The grant only lasts through the end of 2025. So that will be the end of anything they do.
And also chiming in, as I read the package that was brought to the board on that, the 10 years access pertains to that scope of work.
And that scope of work is gonna be done by January 2026. So, because once their money runs out, they will not be doing any more work.
Yeah, they're not, an organization out of control. So,
Or salary,
it
just
is.
random.
Other questions for Kitty? Julie, before we go to you, if I may, Claudia, signed in a few minutes ago and didn't get a chance to have a Beautify Cambria update. Do you have anything for us, Claudia?
Yeah, hi. Well, not related to Parks and Open Space, other than that Beautify Cambria's been working on the Spaghetti Bowl hillside. We've been pickaxing the stone hillside and planting well, a lot of different things, but the portulaca seems to be the one that's hanging in there. It's a little kind of a little succulent with bright colored flowers, but we're going to wait until the rainy season and we'll plant that some more and kind of move it up as high as I can reach, standing up on the up in amongst the geraniums. Just on a personal note, we have a Goodwill donation drive on Saturday to give a little plug for that. So if you have stuff you know laying around you haven't used for a while, you might want to give it away. Come to the Santa Rosa Church between 9 and 3 o'clock and drop those things off. Thanks. And I'll reserve my comments for later. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Claudia. Any questions or interface for Beautiful Cambria? Okay, Julie.
Exciting times for the skate park. We get to change our messaging because our messaging was dropping in and now it is ramping up. So we were able to do a ramp up rally that took place the Friday before Pine Dorado. We did live music and did a free barbecue, raised about $1,350. So just a fun start to being able to get the Pine Dorado weekend going. But this week's a big week. Thursday, as you mentioned earlier, we will, of course, be in front of the board in regards to what has already been put out to RFP, which is going into construction permitting. And if all goes well and what is being communicated to us on behalf of the district, it looks like our timeline puts funding on the grant right around January of 2025 and potentially starting construction in the fall of 2025. So often, even now, after year 5, we're going into year 5 in 2025. I'm still asked, is the park going to get built? And the answer is yes. The park is moving in the direction of construction permits. I continue to still see things on social media that are interesting questions to the community, and I just want to address those publicly. If there's any concerns or questions regarding financing, construction, the reality of the project itself, please don't hesitate to just reach out to us directly. We're super easy to find. Just go to skatecambria.com. Because when you throw questions out to the public like that, all of a sudden the threads start and assumptions get made. And we don't want anybody to not feel like their questions aren't getting directly answered. So I encourage the public to reach out to us if there's any concern, but we thank the district, and particularly David and his crew, because it's exciting to see the space get cleaned up and it lets the vision even become more in front of you, right? You can look at that piece of property just right now with the trees cleared and go, I can see it, like I can see a skate park. So, and the kids are getting really excited. CGS Taco Night is coming up. I think there has been a change in that date, but of course we always like to lean in and try to put skate decks where we can and continue to put merchandising or stickers out there to keep the kids excited and engaged. But please also remember that we're on year 5. And so for kids, it's a lot of momentum to keep them looking at a dirt lot and going, is the park coming? Is the park coming? So the messaging ramping up. Here we come.
Yeah.
Happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, wow, you can earn a college degree in 4 years, guys.
As many of our students who began on the board of this project are now in either graduating from college or in their senior year, including my son.
I was reflecting the other day, looking at the thermometer and the red is right at the top. And that sends to, I think, the message that we have all the money we need. We don't need any more money.
No, let's talk about that. Let's put that as wonderful. We can never have enough money, Michael, ever. Yeah, so maintenance, of course, is our next focus, and we're working on that right now. We're backfilling a maintenance fund. There's discussions going on both, well, through this week that are directly related to maintenance, and right now coming to an agreement with the district on a memorandum of understanding of what that's gonna look like. So we are now backfilling the maintenance fund because, as we all know, you can build something, but you need to maintain it. And we have every intention to be responsible on both sides, building and maintenance. Yeah. Thank you for bringing up the
Questions?
maintenance.
As always, comprehensive
Thank you.
update, and so, General Manager McElhaney, I guess before you dive into the restroom project, I just wanted to note, we saw, I believe I forwarded to the committee, there's a pre-bid meeting coming, 2 weeks from Monday, for the restroom installation project. So I forwarded that RFP to folks. You may want to read that. That's very informative. General Manager McElhaney,
Yes, sir.
what else do you have for us on the restroom?
The restroom's been ordered. They're in the process of the manufacturing piece of it. Still on schedule for a January delivery. The ground and prep work RFP, as you mentioned, is being prepped. And then from there, it's really going to be a timing piece. You know, as we head into the wetter months, that's going to dictate when that bathroom can arrive safely, that the ground is compacted, all the geotech that will have to be done for it to be settled into the ground and that foundation. So we're just kind of in a waiting game, but we don't anticipate any issues. It'll just be at the timing of prepping that site with all the weather factors as you approach, you know, your November, December, January timeframe. So we'll stay in contact with the public restroom company, monitor the weather along the way. And because that restroom has to be craned from the truck to the site, there's really no undoing that. So when the truck's there, the crane is dropping it. And so what we have to do is there could be potential for a delay if weather isn't permitting and we have to reschedule that delivery date. So we're going to monitor it closely, but I think we're in a great position. We got the RFP flying in plenty of time, and then we'll monitor the weather and work with our consultant and the contractor to have that all prepped and trenched and ready to go. And I think we're in a good position for January.
Fantastic. I know that question has come up more than twice. Will the prep scope include the ADA accessible walkway to the restroom? So those of you who read it, it's right in there. So that's a check.
The only thing I was wondering about that is that, do we have a say where that pathway is going to actually be located, or is it already been designed? I haven't seen any designs for the pathway.
That's not shown on the drawings
Yeah.
that I've seen. So,
Yeah, I don't have that answer. I can talk to Jim about that. I know there was some sketches in our one of the original community park plan maps. I can't remember if there was a sketch in there of that path to the restroom. Maybe there wasn't. But
It was kind of more of a comprehensive, kind of all over the place path. So I don't think it was exactly to just the restroom.
Okay. Well, I'll get with the team and then we'll see how that's going to be mapped out, so to speak. And we'll bring
I
something.
guess, maybe, if I can reframe Shannon's question with a request is please engage the pros committee to the extent possible in the discussion about where that pathway goes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. As soon as we get that RFP selected and pinned down, we'll bring in Jim, Tristan, myself, and we'll maybe even the contractor, and we'll roundtable it.
Yeah, and timing wise, if feel free to bring it to the pros committee, or if your timing is more urgent, feel free to bring that to the ad hoc committee of Shannon Sutherland and Jeff Wilson.
Absolutely.
Because they're on it. Awesome, thank you.
Good bathroom news.
Never been so excited about a bathroom.
No.
Yeah, is that the biggest smile we've seen from Ms. Sutherland on the topic, to date. So, consent agenda, and once again, I will, before I ask for motion, I'm gonna ask, are there any revisions needed? I know there never have been, but it's worth asking. Okay, then, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Shannon?
Second.
Second, okay, let me just make a note, Shannon and, Julie, Shannon? I or nay?
Oh, aye,
Julie?
sorry.
Aye.
Jim? Aye. Steve? Aye. I had, no doubt, 4 ayes have it, so, unanimously, the consent agenda is approved, which brings us to the, big topic that we've been waiting for, discuss and consider whether the draft community park phase 3 plan and associated presentation materials are ready to begin community engagement and committee member participation in the community engagement sessions. Just note that, and I'm, we have another question for Claudia. This is no doubt on something we've discussed already. Claudia, did you wanted to, I'm guessing you wanted to comment about the lights on the restroom?
Yep. I just wanted to make sure, since you've not delivered the restroom yet or the toilets, that you take care of the issue with lights. The neighbors, Beautify Cambria, and our Dark Sky effort, we really don't want any lights on it. It's not going to be on at night. There's no need for lights. And also would suggest that if you haven't done so already, that you install solar tubes. I think they're called like solar tubes, sun tubes. They work really, really well during the day, and they give plenty of light. They give more light than electric lights do. So even on a foggy day. So please take those things into consideration. They, not just for me, but from a lot of people who live around there, and then for our Dark Sky effort as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Claudia. Sorry, I didn't catch that earlier. So no, on topic 6A, what this does not say is, that we're going to vote on the plan. That's not the intent today. This is, the committee has got that plan to a state where this is what the committee thinks makes sense in this next phase of development, phase 3, and wants to have first opportunity to get input from this committee and engage the committee in bringing it to the community. So with that, Shannon, I will pull that up and assume you want the presentation up.
Yeah, do we want to talk about the
First, yeah.
report that we put together, which is in the agenda packet? I just want to give anyone a moment to comment on the report. Obviously, it's in draft form, so we are going to be continuously updating this report based on feedback. We have a lot of background information, what was phase 1, what was phase 2, why we're in phase 3. And the methodology that we used to create phase 3, which was our viability matrix, where we looked at each project and really analyzed whether or not it was a viable project for a number of different reasons. But so I just wanted to kind of put that out there in case anyone had any comments about the actual report. Everyone loved it? Awesome.
I think it was very, very comprehensive.
We're really trying to make sure that we're like dotting all our i's, crossing all our t's. So if anyone upon reading it sees any errors or omissions or anything that we need to edit, please let me know, because we're happy to do that. So on to the actual presentation. Phase 3 is all about putting the components onto the East Ranch Community Park. So like I said, we have identified certain projects that are viable projects, either with money, the way we raise the money, whether or not it's environmentally sensitive to the environment, like a number of factors. And this is what we have. We have a playground, which I think everybody's always been on board with having a playground on the property, a volleyball court, which there is a giant group very excited about this, a multi-purpose playing field. This field is very natural, not an AstroTurf or even, turf, rolled out into the space, but just natural. A gazebo picnic area, which is going to span the playing field and the volleyball court. A disc golf course, which we're all very excited about. The group picnic area, which is over near the parking lot, it's a little bit bigger, a little bit more tables. It will also include next to it a horseshoe pit and cornhole. So the cornhole is super exciting too. Super easy projects to implement. Again, very low environmental impact. And then the loop trail is the trail that currently exists that everybody already uses. And really just wood chipping that and maintaining it so that we can use it seasonally. So. Any questions about the overall scope of this? And I just want to preface this by saying that we'll get to maintenance at the end. So we all know that there's maintenance issues associated with each one of these projects, but we're kind of tackling that as a holistic approach, so.
And one of the hooks, I want to throw out there, is that as, after Shannon talks about the what, if she gets to the how we're going to get there, she's going to be asking each of you to present this material to others, right? And so it's these slides that Shannon and Jeff have created to, for that purpose.
So as you look at these slides too, it's also very helpful if you have any edits, omissions, updates, whatever. We can, of course, modify these so that they really fit for these presentations out to in the broader community. So the nature-inspired playground is the design of it is meant to incorporate the natural environment. We already have metal structures around town for the kids to play on. The idea behind this concept is that it's something that fits the environment that we have there at the East Ranch. So building in a little bit more interest into the area. This will be an opportunity for that because it is right now just a very blank, very flat canvas. The general location of it hasn't changed from any of the original diagrams. It's still in the exact spot. The structure will have the playground will have different structures to accommodate the different age groups, children. And it will include a picnic area and benches and seating so that people can sit and enjoy the area with the parents and grandparents. And then one of the reasons I was asking about the pathway to the bathroom is, of course, that we could design it so that there's a branch that goes to the playground as well. So that's the idea with that. And then if you want to scroll down, we have some ideas here. I have a designer in Santa Barbara who's kind of helping me with this concept and can take the pieces that I find from different companies and put this together in one cohesive plan, which is pretty exciting because I don't want to hire a playground company to come and just set up as a structure. We want to do something different and unique, and again, environmentally sensitive to the area. So the idea is some sort of big rock structure, which they have down at El Chorro Park, which the kids are all over all the time. I'm hoping to have one of the contractors in town build a nest. We have the nests all over town. They kind of echo what we have at the beaches with our driftwood and kind of are something unique to our area. So it'd be really fun to do something like that. Below that, the logs that the kids can climb on and climb through are resin. So it's not, metal structures, but they are resin. You can accomplish this with actual natural materials. It's just a little harder. And then again, you can see in the background, we're hoping for some sort of elevation in the terrain so that we kind of get some, again, we just have a flat blank canvas right now. So just something to kind of actually create a barrier for the children so that they know where the boundaries of the playground are. And again, just more climbing and the slide instead of going up steps. It's a little safer for some of the younger children, so.
Well, Shannon, where exactly is that?
It's that big circle.
It's right here. So here is the road and the parking lot. It's over on this side right here. So we're kind of keeping this area all open for the playground area.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Have you considered hedging it instead of doing a berm?
Well, we haven't come up with any designs yet, so definitely open to suggestions. I think hedging, well, and we've already been tackling any plants in this particular project plan in phase 3. But that's something, as we move into phase 4, we absolutely want to tackle. So I think hedging it or some sort of berm, both of which are going to be really great ideas. You know, I have to say my personal preference is to do within the EIR some native plants where we can actually harvest. So if you have a walnut tree or you know, we have plenty of plum trees in town, but you know, so that people can actually also forage in the area, which would be super fun. So again, more balance, natural wood chips. You know, trying to use natural materials whenever possible. The little spring toys are adorable. I've already got a few of those in my cart. I think they had a lot of interest. There's probably the only piece of metal I was actually considering for this, so that is the playground. Obviously, it's going to be very high usage. There's already kids that cross the bridge from Main Street with their parents and come to just the picnic table and run around. So we already have a lot of kids in the space. And if we actually had something for them to go to, I think they would be very excited. Again, the environmental impact is minimal. There are no requirements for water. And the project is in alignment with the conservation easement and the ranch management plan. We're trying to be as considerate as we possibly can with all of our projects. And this one I think is in perfect alignment. So we're guesstimating the cost to be about $100,000. I think for $100,000, we would do a fabulous playground. And then of course, the funding sources we're looking at are grants, fundraising, and donations, which again, I think this particular project is not going to be a hard sell. I think it's actually going to be something that we put together pretty easily once we have a nice design in place. So again, the pictures that we presented, they're just concepts, they're just ideas out of my brain, to tell you the truth. So if anyone has any suggestions, and that's why we want to present this to everybody in the community so that we can get feedback and suggestions and modify it accordingly. So playground. Sand volleyball court. I mean, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. The size that we have it and the depth, everything is, you know, based on the parameters for a sand volleyball court. So we're not deviating from anything from that as far as safety is concerned. And as far as the size is concerned, we just took basic specs and did that. Again, it's another project that is like naturally sensitive, doesn't take up a lot of real estate. And if you scroll through, I think I would put it there, it should be very high usage. There's a lot of people in town that are very excited about this project.
And where about in the park would that be?
This one is right here. So going straight down, right there,
And where's the dog park?
right here.
Okay.
So bathroom, playground, a little bit further, but it's actually a little bit more centered.
No worries. Yeah.
Yes, we're known as the cat park.
Yeah, right.
And I'll put the invitation out there, you know, and all welcome. I mean, sitting down is great, but if you want to come up here and look as, you know, this is going, we won't consider that any state of disorder. That's fine, but yeah, go ahead.
And this is just a very rough concept. So I don't want you to think these are not cemented, the areas, but you know, we kind of put them on the map to kind of get an idea of what we want with them. We kind of actually wanted this to be a little bit more centered, but maybe it ends up staying here with, you know, we're playing with the idea, so. And then there are no trees on here because we haven't gotten to that point yet, but that's what we're hoping with FFRP and everybody to help us design the actual trees. Yeah.
Can I digress to the playground again for a second? So do you have any accommodation or inclination towards any special needs stuff?
It'll all be, we'll work to make it completely ADA compliant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think,
Well, I don't think we can actually
county
do one
would
that won't let, yeah.
Yeah, I figured, I work with Jack's Helping Hand and they just did a new playground that's like phenomenal. And if you want that resource, I'm happy to hand it off to you because they just bought new equipment that's fantastic. And it's really well done.
Yeah, I would absolutely be
Yeah.
interested.
And as a physical education teacher, safety is gonna be so important. One broken leg and we're gonna have to get rid of it, you know, so just make sure it's really safe.
Oh, I mean,
Going in, yeah.
of course, that's like our primary. No one wants to hurt any little kids in town. Yeah. So limited environmental impacts, no requirement for water, high usage. I think families and visitors and everybody in town would be happy to do that. Pretty low cost, you're talking $35,000 to $50,000 to actually do it. And again, same with the funding, grants, fundraising and donations.
Is that, how many nets? Just one net?
Just one net.
Net, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And like, people bring their own volleyballs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, the multi-purpose playing field. Again, we talked extensively with David about this, and we're trying to come up with the best possible plan. We understand that we're not gonna get an AstroTurf or a turf playing field, as per the original design of our park, that we have worked for years and years and years trying to get soccer fields and baseball fields for our kids, but that's just not gonna happen. This is kind of a little bit of a modification. It is a natural turf, so using natural seasonal and regional grasses and weeds and whatever's growing and encouraging that and leveling off the space so that no one hurts themselves in any transport holes. The idea is that we are not doing something that is big impact on the environment. So we're just trying to create a space where someone could actually run around without hurting themselves. Kind of the biggest goal with this one. Again, we're not addressing trees or anything, but of course you can envision, like, as these components go in, trees and shrubs and all that, grasses will make a big impact. You know, you can let everything in the light green grass out and then mow our playing field so that you actually have a playing field to play on, but the rest of the environment can actually grow and seed and do its natural thing.
Did I hear you say somebody couldn't play soccer there?
They could play soccer, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not gonna line it.
Right.
Yeah, it's not going to be, you know, something you would see in a stadium at the high school or something like that. Of course, any border trees that we can do are gonna help with noise, it'll help with errant balls, all the rest of it. So that the ultimate design will include some sort of natural barrier to help contain that little environment. So that's kind of our idea. There are low growing flowers, there's natural grasses, there's weeds, there's all sorts of things that are actually doing very well out there right now. So with some grading, some scraping and some seeding, we have probably a seasonal field. And I would also stress that there's going to be times a year when it's either completely dried out or too swampy to play. And that's just going to be part of the deal. So any questions on that?
It comes with the territory.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things with this is to raise a little additional money to get David the equipment he needs to maintain it. That'll kind of be a big piece of this.
Mhm. Yeah, it's different mowing equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously, the environmental impact, we're trying to keep minimal. The usage is high. Everyone wants to be on that playing field. I mean, I think you can already tell from the way the fields are overused at the school sites that everyone wants a playing field. And then there are no requirements for water. We're not going to try to water this. Any questions on that? Again, grants, fundraising and donations. Gazebo picnic area is not all that super exciting, but we just wanted to give a shady spot in between the playing field and the volleyball courts that someone could sit there and watch people play on the playing field. They could watch people on the volleyball course. You get into the shade. Obviously, again, that whole space is flat and just open to the sun. And so we want to design something that people can kind of escape into the shade and use and watch the activities that are actually happening in the park. So they're just basic 20 by 20 structure. Just right here.
Yeah, very simple.
Very simple. Again, hopefully, eventually we'll get some sort of shrubage and trees to kind of mitigate the presence of it. But it'll be covered. It'll have some picnic tables.
And any reason or thoughts to have solar panels on top of the gazebo?
To power,
I don't know, I am designing something at Creekside, so every roof I see, I'm just thinking of putting,
I'm not opposed to it.
you know, yeah.
If we have a need for power, I can see that.
Got a
I don't know
roof.
if it would be any value, I mean, maybe for people charging their phones, but, you know, with my stuff at Creekside, then it invites sometimes unhoused people, but I'm not sure, I don't know, I'm looking from a green point of view, I'm just looking at green. construction.
Totally open to suggestions. So think about it. If you come up with a good use case for it, I'm happy to
Yeah.
put it in our presentation.
Okay, yeah, I'll think about that.
Okay, on to, so that's basically what it looked like. Again, you know, everything that we're presenting here, we're thinking also in terms of the natural landscape that we can implement to mitigate the impact of some of the actual concrete and metal structures. If that makes sense. The environmental impact is limited. There's no require for water. Usage, I think will be, you know, we put medium, you know, that's one of those things that they're gonna be using either a lot or a little. I actually think, again, because I've seen so many children on the East Ranch Community Park, just the vacant lot playing, that this is gonna be something that's utilized for sure.
And to me, one thing, that having this between playing fields and the playgrounds, now it becomes a family experience. This is great.
So 20,000 roughly, and the same thing, grants, fundraising, donations.
Yeah, these are not class one cost estimates, they're just.
We did a little research, but you know,
Order
there's not much we can do until we're ready to put a design together. Disc golf. I've had so many people approach me lately that are still so excited about disc golf. The group that brought this to pros is still very pumped up about it. And I was at a wedding party the other day and all the young kids were just all over me asking me when disc golf was coming. So this is a very exciting project. We have the money for it. It's ready to go. We have a company that's ready to design the whole project. I have a full presentation, a full report on the disc golf, if anyone would like to read it. Right now, it is a 9-hole disc golf course that winds along I get this wrong all the time, south side of the community park. It tucks in next to the trees. The majority of people throw a disc with their right hands, and an errant disc thrown with your right hand tends to go to the left. So the majority of errant shots will go to the left and into the hillside. So by keeping it along this, we're keeping it much safer for the general public. We have it along or adjacent to the loop trail. But everybody will have signage, and disc golfers know that if you see someone approaching, you don't take a shot. So there's plenty of open space to see who is coming and going before you take your shot. So that's kind of what we have it as right now. It ends right here into our open space, and then people would finish up and walk back to their car. So it's a very low environmental impact, easy to construct. The course designer is a good course designer, and so he's gonna work with us to make it it'll be a beginner course, but if we add trees, we can make it a little bit more challenging. And I think it's something that's gonna be really, really fun to do. The great thing about it is if in 15 years disc golf is not a thing anymore, it's so simple to take out and remove. We're not talking about a big construction thing here.
And if you don't mind me mentioning, I believe I heard a few months ago that next to pickleball, disc golf is the second fastest growing sport in the country.
It absolutely
It's
is.
fun.
Yeah, I know, it is super fun.
It's fun, it's fun.
Where did you, these photos that you have here, where were they taken from?
Just for the internet. Scroll down, let me see what I have there.
Pastora and Paso has great.
Yeah, Castoro has a good one. Dairy Creek has a nice course too. which again, there's no environmental impact. They put the baskets in there and they sometimes mow around them, but really it's the people who walk the course, who create the path and keep the weeds down. So even as far as maintenance is concerned, you know, maybe some occasional weed whacking, but it's going to not be a lot of maintenance involved in this particular project.
The lake has one too, and they did have some issues with people walking their dogs and stuff, but I think they did some community,
Well, they also have a bunch of houses around there
Yeah.
too, so,
yeah. But I mean, it's a really well-used course.
yeah. We're showing metal chains here. We're gonna do plastic, keeps the noise down. Metal doesn't do as well in Cambria, so. We expect, you know, medium to high usage. Again, there's a lot of people in town that are very excited about this project. The environmental impact is minimal and there's no requirements for water. So. About 25,000 and we have private funding secured and ready to go. So this project in particular, once we have all the community input and presented to the CCSD, get our rubber stamp, which I'm sure they'll do, then this project is good to go. We'll actually have something on the ranch for people to play. Some recreation.
Shannon, if you don't mind me asking, says a permit will be required. Could you elaborate on that?
A construction permit, technically, we're not moving 50 cubic yards of dirt, but a construction permit will still be required, so. We added a section on permitting on each one of these projects. But in each one of them, of course, unique permitting is required and we have to work with the CCSD and, you know, Jim and everybody and David. To make sure that we have everything in place, so. We need a little bit more community input and the green light from the CCSD before we can look into what actual permits are required for each project. But again, each one of these projects, because we're trying to keep this with a minimal environmental impact, we're trying to create projects that are not, we're gonna require like a lot of permitting and a lot of hoops. And then we have the group picnic area, which is located along this whole side. So it's nice, it's right up against the parking lot, kind of, as you come in, you can join this actual piece of the property is really pretty. So it'll be a covered picnic area, multiple picnic tables, and with horseshoe and cornhole next to it. So it'll be a nice, we're not gonna do any barbecue pits or anything like that, but it's a nice place for someone to come have a nice picnic and play.
We don't want any fires there?
We don't want any fires. Up against the hill, no. So again, some sort of covered structure, haven't really decided yet. We're probably thinking just kind of base below the picnic tables. So we're not really doing any like concrete pads or anything like that. And multiple picnic tables. Again, these are just ideas, not necessarily exactly what we're going to do. Environmental impact is limited. There's no required for water. And we put medium usage. I think this is going to be a high impact usage. I think people are really going to like it. And then we carved out on the next slides, again, about $20,000 grants, fundraising and donations. And next it'll be the horseshoe pit, which if you've ever visited the one down at Shamble Park, you know, it's basically just a couple backdrops. And, you know, the stuff for horseshoes, very, very easy to do. And then the cornhole, this I'm super excited about. You can purchase a cement cornhole. So it's actually built in, so it doesn't get moved. No one can mess with it. No one can play with it. But it's right there next to the picnic area and I anticipate very high usage for that, so. And so that's what this map one looks like down there. And then the loop trail, again, this one already exists. It's the trail that people have made just by walking on the community park. So it starts at the parking lot, meanders down, cuts across here, actually crosses, it doesn't cross.
Yeah, cross the swale.
It doesn't cross the swale. And then winds along and back over to the dog park. So that is already there. I walk it all the time. The only change is that we'll put wood chips down, so it makes it more accessible during the rainy season and keeps the dust down during the dry season. And kind of defines that a bit better. So. Any questions about that? And then maintenance. Of course, there is maintenance involved with every single one of these projects, and we are very sensitive to that. And we have spent a lot of time talking to David about how best to approach each one of these projects so that we are considering maintenance. We have morphed our designs based on David's feedback so that there's very little maintenance or as little maintenance as possible with each one of these projects. And he has had input into, you know, what we put down below the picnic tables, how we're doing the playing field, everything, so that for his team, he's not having to weed whack all the time or clean up all the time or hose things down all the time. We are working with the facilities department to make sure that these projects actually make sense and are not taxing our already overtaxed resources. So we do anticipate some costs for maintenance. I think the biggest one being the playing field. And again, we're building that into the budget when we actually design something to purchase the equipment that David will need to help us maintain it. And then, of course, one of the big things about our community engagement plan is to start that list of volunteers to help us with each one of these projects. Fundraising, maintenance, cleanup days, all the rest of it. Any questions?
First time I'm being so vocal today, even though I don't have a good voice. I'm wondering, so I looked at the stakeholders list, so green space isn't included in that?
Oh, we're happy to put a green space in that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wondered why you didn't, I mean, we do have a really good base and I think my guys at board meeting tomorrow, I'm gonna present this and I think it would probably be an important audience to.
100%. Again, that's why we're throwing that out there so that we make sure we can.
My feelings for all of her.
Yeah, we definitely don't want her feelings. We're trying to think of everything. So sometimes I
I think that's an important group
Yeah.
to.
absolutely agree.
Yeah.
And again, we want to build that base of support,
Right.
base of volunteers. Of course, we're going to be fundraising for each one of these projects, so we're going to be wearing everybody out.
Yeah.
So that's really helpful. So thus concludes our presentation. This is what we will roll out as our community engagement. Does anyone have any thoughts or ideas on the slides that they just saw?
No, not the slides that I just
Pretty
saw.
comprehensive,
It's very comprehensive, and I don't wanna say anything about it, because I'd really like to have these presentations to all of these groups. I don't wanna kinda add thoughts to it at the moment. You know,
So
I want feedback from other
we have the community engagement plan. So the idea is to take these slides to the community. So we sat and really agonized about this, like how best to get this out in front of the community. Of course, you know, the go-to is to stand out at farmer's market, you know, but we're gonna not get the majority of the community. So we have to go to the people where they are. So we made this list of organizations to bring our presentation to, with the idea that eventually we'll end up in this room with our presentation up on the wall at some farmers markets and let people just walk in organically and look at it and have feedback on the project. We have a community feedback form that we have designed. It may not be the best design. We're open to ideas and suggestions on that. As to what we capture from the community in their feedback.
Page 44 of the agenda packet.
Yeah, very good.
We include the frequently asked questions, right?
Yeah.
We designed some frequently asked questions, and again, that's if someone wants to have any input into those frequently asked questions, then please let us know, because we're, again, trying to think of everything.
They haven't been frequently asked yet.
Yeah, they will be.
But they're gonna be.
I think a lot of people are using technology, so I don't know if it's gonna be on any of the CCSD sites or somewhere they can access it on Nextdoor or.
I would hesitate to use Nextdoor or any of the social media platforms because I find them to be kind of vile.
Yeah,
But
but
we
somewhere.
can talk to our general manager about how, best to have this available electronically, because I'm all for that.
Yeah, and there are non-joiners in town who have strong opinions. So if they could find it on CCSD website, but
Yeah.
unable to leave a comment there, that would be great.
I agree. So we will make a note to talk to our general manager about how to accomplish that.
So Kitty's asking for translucency, not transparency. Okay.
So, and to your point, if you see an organization that we've forgotten, please put it on our list. Because we can't think of any other way to get it out to absolutely as many organizations as we possibly can, or many people as we possibly can. Like we can come present it to the dog park for sure.
Okay, good, yeah, we're gonna be right there.
Yeah.
So Shannon, is it your intent then that we kind of go through this? And I've got a marker and people are gonna raise their hands, is that the plan?
Yeah, we would like people to sign up to do these presentations. So I can give someone our whole report, which includes the FAQs and the forms for feedback. And the slides, and then we would love it if we will definitely be hitting these organizations. But it also helps us if some people in the community also take this back to their organization and present it.
Yeah, I'm thinking churches,
Yeah,
Mhm.
we have a big involvement in our community with liquid churches. Oh,
Yeah.
it's universities and,
Where do we?
Yeah, they-
And we,
local churches.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if we need to do line items for each of those,
yeah.
right?
Just
So
the
yeah,
trust.
it's kind of like, when you scroll through, see what you have here. And
Well, let me, for instance, I think it would be more effective if you presented at a Lions Club meeting. I mean, I could do the presentation, but
Well, and I really wanted to give other people a chance to sign up first before I signed up for them all.
that's why I was
True
looking
Cambria
at
fashion.
yeah, and two reasons as we were talking through this, it's like to your point, both Shannon and Jeff are the most knowledgeable about the content. So naturally, they should make all the presentations. Like, whoa, and
That's 100.
and then the rest of us just kind of watch while they carry the bags of cement back and forth. Eventually they're gonna wear out, right? There's only so much, but the other side of it is, let's engage this whole team, right? Because we're getting to the fun part of bring this to people. People are gonna be just excited about this, and sure, you'll get some hammers, but you're all gonna get a lot of love for this. So it could be, right, a couple, like, Jim, you could sign up to take one of these groups and say, yes, but I want, Shannon or Jeff to come, partner with me. And I don't know, that's fair game too. It's just so like, who has the lead to schedule that?
And I see Coast Unified School District Board. I don't board, I suppose they might be interested in, but how do you bring it more to the kids, that-
We have that on the list, and we need to go to the board and Jill Southern first,
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
and then see how we can roll it out to the general population at the school sites.
cool. Okay.
Yeah. Which I know the kids.
That's gonna be way more impactful.
Then present
Need
to
but
the
this gives
trustees.
us more
Yeah.
mileage. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Is there a way for people to request a presentation?
Absolutely, and there's no way yet, but yes, there is going to be a way here as soon as we think of how to do it. So, yeah, I think the best way is that if you do find an organization or a group that wants the presentation, just to email Michael. And then we'll set up a time,
Oh, yeah.
and do it. We're not going to pass up any opportunity to promote this idea, so.
Well, it's taken 30 years to get to this point, 30 years. So it's wonderfully comprehensive and
We got our feet on the gas.
yeah, I know, great springboard and I think you know my feelings on this. I'm super excited. And I know from, all that has been done already with the Frisbee golf, it kind of helped move the momentum into a conversation and of course the bathroom needing to take place. So they're it's great. I'll just leave it there.
So-
Okay,
Who's the guy that stands outside the restaurant, kind of like bringing people in? What do they call that guy?
Say Major D or somebody.
No, not the maître
the
d'.
owner.
That's true.
We need to hype people.
So
Yeah.
the bus trip. So in other words, like right here and now, Shannon, do you want to do that or do you want me to do that? Because I think your intent was, let's get names.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping
here.
people would like, we're
Right
gonna
now.
fight over each other to stand up and sign
Yeah,
up
I'm
on our
wondering
thing.
what does it intake? If I say, okay, I'll do a presentation, you're gonna just email me something and then I just,
I'll email you the report and the slides
Yeah.
and you saw how I did it
Yeah.
and. Again, I think one of the biggest pieces is that we communicate that these are components in the park. You know, we have to break it up into smaller chunks so that we can actually accomplish something. We definitely looked at more of a holistic approach. Do we design a whole park? And then try to get all the millions of dollars to do that, or do we break this up into smaller chunks that we can, something that we can actually accomplish?
yeah, I think this is a great way to get the community involved, because if they don't get involved, then they're gonna say, well, I didn't get involved.
And I'm sure there's things we're not thinking of either.
No, so usually it's at the end of the commercial where you hear all of the disclosures.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm gonna put that up front, right? So the Brown Act, not disclosure, the Brown Act, cautions and warnings, right? So what we can't do is 3 of us on this committee, be at one of these places at the same time. Yeah, that's what we can't do. But, Steve and Tony can be somewhere, right? Yeah, Steve and Jim, in 2 at the time. Now, also, in terms of how you get the feedback back, because we're gonna want you to gather these survey forms with volunteers, with names, of people who want to get involved, or want to get input. And, then we'll want you to bring that back to the next pros committee meeting. Because we already have Shannon and Jeff on the ad hoc. So then if Julie is feeding them content, then we have, oh shucks, now we're 3 people working together on the scope again. And it's awkward, and it's like, well, why is it organized that way? Well, it's the laws of the state of California, and the Brown Act is there because there have been some horrible bad actors over the decades, and we all know that. And so it constrains how we operate, but, we can still do good stuff and stay within the boundaries. But, and in Shelley's comment, now here, the column header is pros leading. I want names like Steve, Jim, Julie, Shannon, Jeff, Michael, and Jeff said, he said, hey, put me in anywhere you want, and also, while I'm not on the ad hoc committee, Shannon, feel free to assign me wherever you think I'm, for some reason, the best spokesperson for.
You're welcome to
That
get in on
is-
there right now.
Well, Michael, I'll be brave enough to put my name up.
All
How's
right,
that?
Julie, let's do it.
I'll take Rotary.
We're finding the road.
That's it. Most of us have access already to communities, so it's just a matter of sharing it with access we have. Like I have my church and I have the dog park,
Yeah,
so I'm already there.
But it's getting informalized proposals, presentations rather. So like with Rotary, it would be a speaking,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Getting in front of that whole group.
Even I could do a presentation at the dog park,
Yeah.
with the video.
I'll also take,
Add dog park.
Steve and I will both take the chamber.
I don't wanna do any,
Come on, Steve.
Or Steve will be further.
Steve?
right? So
Yeah.
can I say that, or do I have to pretend like I want to? I will not be a good presenter of information.
I'll
Well,
present.
just say you wanna do it and wait till they're all filled and then.
And then, well, no, I would, meaning that you're looking at the chamber board, you're like, all right, I'll do the chamber board, I'm gonna do it in 30 seconds. Right, they're gonna vote yes and we're gonna be done. If you want a good presentation to the chamber board, Shannon or Jeff ought to come and make that presentation. Yeah, I'll go to anything you guys need me to go to help support you, but actually somebody else doing what Shannon just did would
So,
best serve
okay.
us.
And I'll.
Right, it's the
echo
same
that.
thing at the Lions.
I
If
could
he
give a
goes
great
to the Lions, they're gonna go, shut up, Jim, quit talking. If Shannon stands there, they're all gonna be quiet, they're gonna listen to Shannon.
Okay,
And
then let's,
that I might not agree with a lot of stuff, and if Shannon can give it.
Exactly.
all of a sudden people are saying, what do you think? I don't know.
Yeah,
Them,
I agree.
You don't agree with it, or?
I may not, but
But
the idea is I want.
That's why we presented it here, so that you could give us your feedback. What, this isn't like rubber stamped, it's not, definitely wanted to get input from people.
And I think the more they hear it from different people, it's gonna be more real,
I am happy to go do the presentation. What I don't wanna do is be the person, I don't have the bandwidth to reach out to every one of these organizations, try to schedule it, try to talk to people, 50 emails back and forth. If you don't wanna do it and you're in this organization, email me, say, show up now, do this, and I'll do it. That's much easier on me than trying to, and I'm assuming like local churches, I'm hoping that people who are in the local churches don't mind doing something like that.
Well, I'm not really in game shape anymore, but if we have a soccer field out there, I would love to have, I guess if we get over 70 soccer teams now. And if I have a couple of folks that say, hey, I don't want to play soccer, well, fine, you don't come, you're not a member of the team if you don't want to play soccer. What I'm hearing from Steve and Jeff is, hey, we don't want to do this. Well, fair enough. If you don't want to do this, then you're not going to be good.
Oh, I definitely like going to meetings and having a microphone. I think I'm highly entertaining. I'm just not so
Put
sure
CYAA
we're
on
gonna
that list.
accomplish the goals we want to accomplish.
I'd like to have you do that to the Lions Club October 22nd, and I'll give it to somebody else. In other words, I'll go and give it to the chamber if you want.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
I'll do.
You just
at
email
County
me,
Parks,
let me know
right?
that I'm on the agenda and when to be there. I'll do it.
The one up there.
It's just because I want it to come from somebody.
I
that's
get
not-
what you're saying. I just don't literally
We're
want to
doing that
orchestrate
anyway.
it. Another thing, as I'm sitting here thinking about this,
And I'll leave it small.
I don't have the money, we don't have any money to make copies of the presentation. So if you can't show it
Good job,
electronically
Steve.
and you want to show the slides
That
off,
doesn't mean that I'm gonna give.
You might have to make your own
Look up the presentation and make sure. Yeah.
I'll send them to you and you gotta do it.
I'd like to make a
Oh,
suggestion.
yeah, right, that was, yeah.
I'm just gonna make a
Anywhere
suggestion.
you
Sign
want me to
up for
show
Yeah,
up.
well, no, we might use, it would be good to help the Cambria Tourism Board,
Oh, yes.
yeah,
So
I don't think.
I'm gonna make a suggestion.
So, Harry, if I might, just know that the standing committee bylaws are state explicitly that directors are welcome to attend standing committee meetings, but not participate. I've been kind of loose, you've made a number of comments, but at this point, you're about to give direction. Some can suggest that might not, that might be a violation of our bylaws. Apologies for that.
Yeah, tell her to say it.
Yeah. I know it's gonna be a good idea, but.
I know.
Good, put farmer's market down for me.
And those are just sitting in here.
What are you doing with the schools, Julie?
So that's really gonna be, I don't mind sitting down with Jill and getting a comprehensive plan in place on how to get it successfully out to our parents and students. So you can put me down for,
Yeah, cause that doesn't really help to give a presentation. to the
no,
school board. You wanna
the
get some
trustees,
info,
I mean, that's,
even if it was a one-page pop of what's going on.
put me by, CUSD.
Of course, yeah.
But I can talk to Jill, Steve, and see how to get it out.
Put Jeff, I'll help Jeff do it at a green space board meeting.
Yeah, Jeff.
Yeah. He's an ad hoc board member for me anyway, so.
Yeah.
I'll do that for our meeting.
Yeah.
I'll be there already.
And if you want me to be there to answer questions, I'm happy.
It's at the top.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think this is a good committee to talk
I know
about.
you want to recruit from this team.
Let's put Jeff with that.
Like someone from this team.
Where?
I've never been to an FFRP meeting. I should go to one.
It's done in under an hour.
Yeah.
Last one was 35 minutes.
When are they?
Tuesdays.
Is he gonna do the presentation?
Second Tuesday of the month.
Evening?
Steve?
Four o'clock.
He's already up. I didn't call him to this.
See, Steve's gonna, he's gonna get whoever goes with him to do the presentation, but you know the impact Steve has when he's at a meeting.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Get
and,
this done.
yeah.
Yeah, here, Steve, go.
He doesn't say on script, don't give him a script. He can't follow.
Okay, now we're rolling.
I can do that.
And Jim's gonna need a lot, and so Jim, what this means, you said you'll do the farmer's market.
You know, what I was gonna do is the Lions Club sponsors the farmer's market, and I was gonna get the farmer's market manager to have some material available and reach out to people that way. That's what I was thinking in my mind. But I'm not gonna be going to the Hispanic committee or local families, and the farmer's market is one way. How could we meet with homeschool networks? I don't know.
Churches.
We'll ask Jill Southern next.
Yeah, that's
She
all.
knows about that.
Yeah, this is gonna expand, as an outcome of this meeting, we're gonna need a lot of ideas on how to engage school kids, and it's gonna go way beyond farmer's market. It's not-
Right.
It's all we've got so
We'll
far.
engage them.
So this is gonna
Yeah.
grow.
You know, and I'll have Shen help me at the Lions Club. Well, I've got it scheduled already.
And I'll do University of Wyndham, so
And we're,
right there, you're right in front of it.
Yeah, if you guys partner with whoever's the head of the organization and you get that enthusiasm going and all of that. The other thing is, I always have filming a presentation, and then a lot of people, like parents, might want to sit and watch a video of all of this and film your presentation. I mean, we do so much stuff out of, sitting at our own desks or whatever.
Asynchronous.
And that might be a good way to spread the message too.
I think so.
Especially as a draft plan, that this is what you're thinking. But I think videos go a really long way. I think a lot of people respond to that.
I think it's the best way to take pressure off yourselves. I mean.
Yeah, 'cause there's no pressure in filming me doing this presentation.
And it's already been recorded.
It should.
You know, we could do
Yeah,
it. You got it.
Hey, the Parks and Rec, let's put Jeff for that one.
Yeah, this, complete staff of these people, right, this is gonna tie in. This here is an important one, who's gonna do
I
that?
don't know, that was a big one.
NCAC.
That is a very
There's-
important one.
And that's gonna be long, that's gonna be long and drawn out, and it's on Zoom,
And
that's
it's-
horrible.
What, I've been all those meetings.
Are you on the board there? You just go.
I'm there.
You do NCSD.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So that's the way to do it.
But you have.
And I checked with council, and said, but I,
Yeah, I know.
right, so I can't be like on the committee, but is it fair game?
Yeah.
I get the assignments.
Shannon, I have a quick question. So what is the timetable? In other words, how much time is gonna be given to phase 3?
I'll work with you on
In October, November, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, October, November. So that's another good point, is that we're trying to get this accomplished in the roughly 60 days. We want to hit it hard, because then it'll be on everyone's mind. People will be talking about it, the feedback will be fresh. We don't want this to drag on forever. And then we want to take the feedback so that we can update our plan accordingly, and then ultimately present it to the CCSD and sometime before January? Is that what we're going for?
The intent is, and we've got that in the report here. And what did we say? But I'm pretty sure the intent is that
December or January?
we get this to the board in January, and we bring it to this group, back to this group in December.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, page 22.
I think that's pretty aggressive.
It is aggressive.
I mean, now that you have Thanksgiving and you have
Yep.
Christmas, it's.
No. So our pie in the sky, kind of blue sky, forecast is the January 16th pros committee meeting. to have it come in for landing here to pros.
25.
And before the end of one Q, you know, by March, to bring it to the board. Yeah, that's what we wrote down.
Right, yeah.
So
That's more.
We do not want to drag this on forever. I mean, it does seem aggressive, but otherwise we could go 5 years doing this.
Well, and the other part too, I mean, is like with the feedback forms and everything, Shannon, I mean, there are always gonna be community. We'll put the skate park up as an example. It's been 5 years in this community and people will still go, is the skate park going on the East Ranch? Really? I think we've answered the question a lot of times, but it's always gonna happen. So to be able to get out there aggressively, get the messaging out, and then on these feedback forms, we're making copies of this, and then if we're presenting to a group, you want us to retain those copies and then get them to either you or Michael? Is that good? Okay.
Do we have forms already?
Yeah.
Well, there's one
It
in
is designed, yes. it's in the packet.
Actually, good.
Yeah.
copy.
It's actually like somebody put it together and knows what they're doing.
Could you also do it as a Google form for people who?
We discussed that. We have to talk to the general manager on how to, like you were talking about, putting the presentation online and then embedding some sort of form on the website so people can submit it electronically as opposed to doing it on paper,
That's
which
good.
is my preference.
Oh, yeah, it'll be much easier to
Yeah.
deal with that information.
I'm sure we can do an easy Google form. I mean, I know how to design them and I can embed the iframe into the website, but we have to get the 250 permission for that, so.
I think in a lot of places, piece of paper, if I were to do it at the Lions Club.
Yeah, you'd need
You
paper.
put out 40 pieces of paper, because there's 40 people that don't have any
Right.
access on
And
it.
I think one of the
Yeah.
biggest on
Yeah,
the
you're right.
frequently asked
That'd
questions
be the way
is
to
going
do
to
it.
be, of course, people who want to see nothing there. And personally, I get it, you know, having grown up here, that piece of property is kind of special. But we raise the money for that piece of property for recreation. And so yeah, I think it would be kind of a, you know, a criminal bait and switch to not do anything on the property. And so as far as that messaging is concerned, like I am sensitive to people not wanting anything, but that is not fair to the people who raise the money for this property for recreation. And the town deserves recreation. I mean, we do deserve it.
Town deserves kids.
Well, the town deserves kids and families and life.
I would show up Friday night at the Coast Union football game and say, well, I don't like football. And that's fine, but the football game is going to go on.
Yeah.
All right, whistle's gonna blow. And that's fine. And this is the community park. Yeah, that's fine. We'll listen to all comments. Now, also, yeah, if it falls down, you have 30 seconds and you snap the ball, right? The restroom is gonna be installed, you know, it's gonna be operational. We heard, you know, like February, March, and what did we say a year ago when we started this? Not quite a year ago. When that restroom is operational, we want to have this plan approved by the board so that we're ready for the next project. Dick Clark has been mentioning for a while, we're ready to go. We're ready with the disc golf. So we want to be ready, and that's the intent, all right? When, before, as soon as that is operational, we want to be ready to go next step. This is exciting, getting some energy. Jim is gonna need help. Farmers market, that's a
I'll
big,
do with farmers market.
yeah,
That's,
that's a key.
we're already kind of good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
There's been some
what
experiences.
do we have? What openings do we have?
Okay, so, road committee, we're here, CCSD staff, this needs to be Shannon, you know, as the, you know, you and Jeff working with,
I would say the major one is our churches.
churches, and someone have the lead for this, on the committee, and then working with. You know, what we want here is like, who's gonna, on the committee, take the lead for getting it organized with the various churches, and then.
I might be able to help, because
Yeah, the Shelley.
I've seen a couple of them now.
He's super helpful, Shelley.
Ed,
Oh, what?
yes, with an E,
No,
no E.
definitely.
But, so on the team, who's gonna be, Shelley's, buddy to work on this,
Churches,
on the committee with the churches?
got a church affiliation, anyway.
Yeah,
Fine.
Okay.
May I? May I?
Look at that, Catholic? Catholic?
Yeah.
Very nice.
I'm excited.
Shelley, there's lots of wonderful congregations
Oh,
in
I
our
know.
view, but the Catholic Church would be a really smart start because they've already been versed on this when we went out with
Yeah.
the disc golf and understanding their desires for the playing fields. And there's such a huge
Steve fought
huge
for that for so long.
interest in
Yeah.
soccer, right? So,
Jill, I want Jill. Sorry.
and we added CYAA to the list, and of course, that would be Anna Griffith or Bree to contact, but that would be all in alignment with those playing fields.
So Julie, you're gonna take on CYA?
I can take CYAA.
And,
I probably will have Shannon. We gotta figure out how to message that, right? Cause again, you're talking about the parents.
one other individual. Yeah, your choice, and partner anyone outside. There's no limit to who you can involve from the community. You can only involve one other on the. And
I would help with the planning department with, you know.
Jeff? Or-
With Jeff, yeah, or you said Jeff would put down for anything. Where is it? Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
So understand. Yeah, put Jeff in.
Put Jeff there.
I'm more on.
Yeah.
No. And you were saying you'll have Jeff here? Is that what you're?
Well, no, I mean, as long as Jeff is gonna do it, Jeff.
Yeah, that makes sense to sign Jeff here.
You said you could put him on there, put him on a couple of things.
That's what happens when you're not
Put
here.
him on that
You
church
just
thing,
get-
that'll teach him.
Yeah.
Long, so like,
They're more than
we'll
shit.
come back, put it to work.
Right.
I'll be at probably all of them, so.
Yeah.
Jeff on the Cambria Library, a little bit up there.
As you
Sure.
It really takes one of you guys to sell it. It really
Yeah.
does.
And, both sides of the school board.
Yeah,
Well, no,
Yeah.
it's just all my stuff, right?
You're on school.
yeah.
I'm just still exactly where I'm on the list.
How
Oh, I should do that.
about Hispanic community? We need somebody to do that.
Well, I think the churches
Yeah,
and.
that's, the
Well,
churches and the.
It's CYA and the churches, that'll overlap.
Yeah, and we also have Lourdes, we can reach out to Lourdes, who actually went door to door.
Yeah, she sure did.
So, the only thing I'm worried about with that is we just had her do that. There's a lot of the same information. And so I'm worried about them getting confused and upset that we did,
You already said we were gonna get disc golf, and now you got some other thing.
yeah.
Well, I think that the reality of how the whole phase 3 is laid out and the way you presented it, Shannon, is the way to go back to those. I mean, they're gonna see progress. That This is framed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we are gonna do the disc golf as soon as that bathroom goes down, right? Dick's got the money.
Yeah, I got my disc ready to play.
Yeah, and for some reason, I get a lot of that stuff on my Facebook now. It's phenomenal. Oh, the guys, it's like under bridges and around over trees.
Steve said he'd do the Legion.
I get my read back. Shannon, you take the lead with this back community and bring it all together.
Yeah, I'll reach out to Lourdes and see what I can put together. I think that between the churches and the school, we're gonna hit them pretty good, but yeah.
Legion, where are we?
Right.
Here. Okay.
The, Catholic Church.
Yeah, and I'm gonna drag people with me now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
At 6 o'clock.
And like-
Do you want-
I can't make it.
You can't make it.
That's very-
Okay, I'm.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to the tourism board and all of that. If you want, that would be good for.
I was invited to it. I was not doing it.
This happens, they're almost all.
Not religious. Oh, not religious, I might say something, confrontation.
When we get there. We all.
Well.
Email me the presentation.
Yeah.
I might just go there. Just.
And Jeff will bring Jan and,
Yeah.
And, yeah. And then that would be the group that
Oh, other
needs to see this.
That kind of includes.
Well, this is just, basically, this is farmers market.
Yeah.
All I'm saying.
So October, November, Shannon, right?
Right.
Okay.
Um,
I don't know enough about what might be available for Rotary as far as, they're pretty far out in their speaking, schedules, so.
So this seems like something they actually enjoy.
Oh, yeah, no, I think, They might already have
So-
speakers scheduled, but I'll try.
Did we? Shit, are we done?
That's it.
Shoot, okay, so, following this,
The only other thing I would add, and I probably should have put it on an actual piece of paper, but if you don't have my email address, come see me and I'll make sure you have it so that if you find an organization that you want to attend, but you need a little help, then you can tell me when I'm going and I'll go. So.
Tomorrow.
Right.
and now I need to check for public comment. I'm gonna close I'm gonna stop sharing so that I can see.
No. I have taste of Cambria.
What hands are up.
I won't be at
Okay,
November.
everybody's hands are up. Okay,
No.
so,
We'll talk.
Claudia, your hands are
Beautiful
up.
Cambria, hopefully.
Right. Claudia, I unmuted you. What's up?
Yeah, thank you. I actually have a couple of things. If you don't mind taking the time, I will be quick. I actually take issue with the mention of ethnicity. I think that's what the word is. And some of the proposed functions you have, including ethnicity. And to me, it kind of offends me because it starts to kind of point. It feels like, oh, we want to include the Hispanic people. We don't want to call them Hispanic. We're going to call them, or I don't know. I don't think it's necessary. It says it's open to all, and I don't think you need to put that word in there. So that's just it's a little personal thing. One of a beautiful Cambria thing. People have asked us about putting trash cans or trippers on the park. I mean, for a long time they've asked us about doing that. For us, it causes kind of an issue because if you want us to maintain them, it puts us off the beaten track. And then who's going to empty them? Is that going to go on, to someone, give them one more thing to do to empty the trash cans? But you must have some there already, some sort. But if I can, would like to see you do something that's more aesthetic. In the parks nowadays, what we're doing is trash, recycle, and composting. So as we I call it a tripper com or a triple tripper, or whatever you want to call it. But that is what they're doing in the parks nowadays so that people have a place to put their food waste. So if you're going to do trash cans, we suggest that you do that. We can help you with the design of that. And, of course, those are owned by the CCSD, so CCSD can pay for those. And, we could probably plant them, but somebody else is going to have to maintain them. We have good planters. And then I already talked about I'm a little well, we can talk about that later. I was a little concerned about so many of these gazebos. The more gazebos you put out there, the more shade you put out there, it just means less habitat that, you're kind of covering the habitat, and that's, an open, meadow. So that's a little concerning. Maybe to have more lattice type roofs or something like that would create shade, but not stop the water from getting, penetrating through that. And anyway, those are the most important things. Bit by Cambria, I have to talk to them to see if they're interested in getting involved in this. I mean, I can definitely talk to them about what's going on. I can give my own little presentation at our meeting, and I can send information out to our mailing list. But I'm not sure, what our capacity would be at this time. I think I need to talk to our small group and find out if they're interested in doing some things. I think we'd probably be interested in trees and plantings and things like that. So we'd like to be consulted when it comes to vegetation, because it's kind of become our thing. We know kind of what works and what doesn't work. So, okay, that's it. Thank you.
Fantastic. A lot of good thoughts. And yeah, there'll be trash cans and we'll have to sort that out. And regarding ethnicity, we're merely understanding and yeah, I'm sure we haven't said everything just the way we should, but we understand that most of what we do is in the English language, and we want to be sure that we are able to get to the entire community, and we want to be thoughtful about ensuring that we do. But yeah, thank you for that. The Schwartzes have their hands up. Yes.
Yes, good afternoon again. Yeah, I just want to make just a couple of comments. Jeff and Shannon, it looks like you did a really good job. And it looks fun. The most fun to me, it looks like that playground with all those creative structures. with the bird nest and all that. I appreciate that part. The one thing I wanted to say here on Zoom, you guys were pointing to the map for potential areas that things were going to go, but here in Zoom, we couldn't see that. So if you're going to do a presentation, if you have the ballpark idea where these things might go, it would give people more of a feel. And, you know, we would have liked to see it on Zoom too, but nothing's perfect. The other thing, when you're doing a handout to people to respond, I see you have 3 categories: full-time, part-time, and visitors. And I hope when you do that, I hope when you get responses that you weigh more heavily for full-time and part-time, and not so much the visitors, because again, it's we are going to be paying for it. Hopefully we'll be around more to use it. So I think the people responsible for it and taking care of it might have a little more impact of what we put in there. That's just my opinion, and thank you.
Thank you for speaking on behalf of Team Cambria. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, Trent.
I have one more thing. I'm so sorry, you guys. You know, Julie, and I thought of one more thing. I just did a ton of graffiti mitigation because we got so much vandalism. And so I'm just, everything you do, graffiti guard it. There's really good products out there. And it really makes a difference to be able to clean it up, because I'm sure it will happen again.
Yeah, that we didn't include that. I did have an idea to do some sort of wall, some sort of structure where we could do art, community art. Palm Springs has a little park where it's just these cinder block walls, and they graffiti them, they paint them, they put art on them, they whitewash them, they start again.
Love
And it's so much fun.
There's been consideration on that in the
Yeah,
skate park.
just
Yeah.
play around with them, and I know a lot of it comes with that, but just make sure you double check the.
Yeah.
It would.
That is a good call out.
I just spent like almost $4,000 on graffiti
Oh,
mitigation.
And that is real right now. I
It's
mean,
real right now.
I've been on the graffiti task force on the
Yeah.
community on this, and taking it
Taking it really
very
seriously.
seriously.
Yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
and on behalf of the school district, we just got through on Thursday's board meeting, going through all our security systems and RFP proposals on full security systems on all sites.
Yeah,
So things are changing in Cambria,
They
whether
are.
we'd like them to change or not, they are changing. So we just need to be vigilant about that.
yeah.
Good point. Yeah, absolutely.
More reason to keep the youth in our community engaged with something.
Yes, absolutely. I could not agree with you more, Shannon.
There's a lot to capture in the minutes of this discussion, but thank you all. And Shannon, are we done with this one?
We are done.
So that moves us to regular agenda item 6B, the pros goals report. And
Michael, before we go there, I want to say thank you, because there is a tremendous amount of time invested in getting presentations put together like this. And I would just personally want to say thank you.
yeah, that's great.
Sent you the presentation and the map.
There you go, Jim. Come on.
Can't wait.
I love it. I love it.
The
There
speed
you
of
go.
light. Yeah. Yeah.
I need to go, you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks for all your input.
Yeah, and again, I'm still, my feelings are still very hurt about not being one of the stakeholders.
Oh.
I'm gonna let it go.
I need to tell you, so I'm gonna.
Bye.
Yeah, I owe you one. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm gonna get on Jeff.
hold me to it.
And then
Oh, yeah,
After
Jeff owes you
5
one.
years,
There you go. Yeah, I'm good. So, the goals, as you kind of lead the discussion on this, I think your options are to run through this or to say, given the energy we've had on this topic, we'll just defer this to next month.
I like the latter.
I moved to defer.
Oh, I'm sorry, one thing I forgot, let me see, so. The last topic, consider whether what we've just presented to you, what Shannon has presented.
Oh, yeah.
Is it ready to begin engagement? And, so that's the operative question. So who wants to make that motion?
Jim makes the motion and I second.
Yeah,
All right.
vote on that, absolutely.
Jim, and the motion is that the draft community park phase 3 plan and the associated presentation materials are ready to begin community engagement. And with the committee member participation that we've defined. So Jim?
Yes.
Yes. Move.
Yes.
I
I
we have
always forget that part.
four ayes, so it's the motion is adopted unanimously. I gotta say all the right words. Thank you, and topic 6B is deferred. Do we have any future agenda items anyone wants to add here?
Do we want to agendize the feedback that we get from this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So that will be a topic at
Progress
each
report.
upcoming meeting is progress on the engagement.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So community park engagement.
So as we're giving those forms back to you, how are you going to calculate or just add them up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we'll,
Don't, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know,
What,
I know.
what are we?
What data do we hope to collect
Right.
as a result of those forms?
Right.
Yeah,
And that's
I'm-
something we asked. Really, the data that we are collecting is feedback and how we adjust this park and enthusiasm for the project. Which I know that's pretty convoluted, but
Yeah, well, no, because I'm not looking for data.
yeah,
I'm informing the public of what is
Exactly.
coming and their opinions.
people
Matter
do
to
not
me,
have to
but-
fill out the feedback.
Yeah.
Only if they want to fill out the feedback form.
Right,
And
and
that's
it's,
the majority.
it'd be something like Survey Monkey where it's real easy, you know, this is take 5 minutes, if you just click. Because if we make it too complicated, no one's
Yeah,
gonna
then
do
no
it.
one does.
That's what,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
an action item that we need to
Well,
do,
this is
is
a-
find out about what we can put on our website and what form we can
But
do
there's-
for community engagement on the website.
And it needs to be in Spanish and English.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm just personally, the data I'm looking for is information we may have missed. If somebody has something pertinent to say, you know, like the one guy that says the creek bank's sweeping away, you know, you're like, all right, I wanna hear that complaint, not, I don't want the playground out there. That doesn't mean anything to me.
yeah, we want to find out what we've missed. And there's, like, we want to learn as we go through this, and we want to build momentum. And the building momentum is a section of this that has get involved. And the idea there, I mean, how is it that every week, 12 to 15 people show up on Fiscal Ranch Preserve every Wednesday morning to maintain trails or pull thistles and mustard? I mean, nobody, in high school thought that that was gonna be fun in their advanced years, but we have a friggin' blast doing it, and we have a lot of people that show up. How do we create that for the community park? We're gonna need that. And so this list of names is gonna be, it's gonna be donors, it's gonna be more than we even know at this time of, you wanna get involved? And folks will throw cookie bakes, who knows, but that list is gonna be really important.
Right, but what you're doing is a great example with the fiscally named Wednesday. I get an email every week, hey, we did this, all these people, pictures. I'm like, oh, I wanna go there. And then you invite me and tell me where to meet and all those things. So repetition and being out there on next door. And your name is known because you're involved in other areas. So really, all of us are gonna need to take the initiative to be known and to be advocate. Because it's not gonna just happen sitting on the couch.
Agree.
Yeah.
I move that we adjourn.
So this is not something that needs a motion, but nonetheless, I think we have finished our business. And Jim, thank you for the lead in. It is 3:55 PM and our meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys. I will, so.
All right, Julie, I'm gonna go make 3 phone calls out here and then talk to you.
Got it.
That'll complete